good evening, and welcome to Sky Tonight. The moon is in the waxing gibbous phase tonight, with 81% illumination. Look for it in the eastern sky after sunset. Viewers are invited to enable captions in their preferred language for local observing cities and times. Join us for a guided tour of tonight's sky, featuring constellations, planets, and celestial events visible from your location. As the evening begins, look high in the southern sky for Venus shining brightly, and not far away, the moon near Antares. Almost straight overhead, the Hercules cluster and Vega stand out, while the Cat's Eye Nebula is high in the northern sky. Saturn appears near the eastern horizon, marking the start of our journey. Later at night, Albireo and Altair glow high in the southern sky, with Mars rising near the eastern horizon. The Alpha Capricornids meteor shower adds a quiet display overhead. Toward morning, the Andromeda Galaxy is almost straight overhead, and the double cluster is high in the northern sky, while Difta shines high in the southern sky. The southern Delta Aquariids and Perseids meteor showers offer a final chance to spot meteors before dawn. The tour ends with satellite crossings in the moon's light, a quiet reminder of our presence beyond Earth. Venus is a dazzling silver-white point high in the southern sky tonight. It's the brightest planet, easy to spot even in twilight, shining steadily with a pale glow. The planet reaches its highest point in Los Angeles at 8:30 in the evening, then peaks in New York at 8:50 in the evening, and finally climbs highest in London at 9:45 in the evening. Because Venus shines both before dawn and after dusk, the ancient Greeks long believed they were seeing two different objects, a morning star they called Phosphorus and an evening star they called Hesperus. The Hercules cluster is a dim fuzzball located on the west side of the keystone of Hercules, best viewed using binoculars. Look almost straight overhead to find this packed halo of old stars. The cluster peaks highest in Los Angeles and New York at 9:25 in the evening, while London sees it highest at 9:45 in the evening. Though it appears as a fuzzy blob through binoculars, under telescopic scrutiny, the cluster resolves into countless individual stars, creating one of the most spectacular sights in the night sky. The moon passes close to Antares tonight, creating a striking visual pairing high in the southern sky. Antares is the bright red star near the moon, making this a beautiful sight to the naked eye. The pair reaches its peak position in Los Angeles and New York around 9:15 in the evening, while London experiences this moment at 9:45 in the evening. Tonight's featured deep sky object is the Cat's Eye Nebula, a blue-green dying star shell curled in Draco. Look high in the northern sky and trace the curve of Draco around the Little Dipper to locate this tiny target, best seen with a telescope under steady skies. In Los Angeles, New York, and London, the nebula remains above the horizon all night, peaking around 10:45 in the evening. Vega is the very bright star almost straight overhead tonight. Part of the summer triangle, it shines with a sharp blue-white light and is one of the brightest stars in our sky. Los Angeles, New York, and London all witness this star's highest point around 11:25 in the evening, with London remaining visible all night. In Chinese and Japanese folk tradition, Vega is identified with the deity Weaver Girl from the legend of the Cowhood and the Weaver Girl. The lovers are separated by the Milky Way and can meet only once a year. Saturn rises near the eastern horizon tonight. Look low in that direction to find it as a steady golden point. It's visible to the naked eye and will climb higher as the night progresses. The planet rises in Los Angeles, New York, and London together around 11:30 in the evening. The Great White Spot, a giant storm system that occasionally erupts on Saturn, appears roughly once every 30 years, creating a spectacular display of atmospheric turbulence. Albireo is the star at the foot of the Northern Cross in Cygnus, high in the southern sky. Use a small telescope to split it into its stunning gold and blue companions, a treat for stargazers. Los Angeles, New York, and London all see this star reach its peak around 12:15 after midnight. Albireo plays a poetic starring role in Kenji Miyazawa's 1934 classic, Night on the Galactic Railroad, which features an Albireo observation station, an image later carried into the celebrated 1985 anime film. Altair is the bright white star flanked by two fainter ones, forming the low corner of the summer triangle. Look high in the southern sky to find this sharp white star crossing the summer Milky Way. Los Angeles, New York, and London all experience this star's highest point around 12:35 after midnight. Altair was used as a navigational star both by sailors on the seas of the Northern Hemisphere and by modern aviation pilots. This is due to its high brightness and easy recognizability in the summer triangle pattern. The Alpha Capricornids meteor shower is active tonight, building toward its peak in 6 days. Look halfway up the southern sky to spot meteors streaking from this radiant point in Capricornus, with an estimated 1 meteor per hour. Los Angeles, New York, and London all witness the radiant's best position around 1:15 in the morning. Mars rises tonight from the eastern horizon. Look low near the eastern horizon to spot it as it rises. The planet appears as an orange-red point of light. This is the start of its visibility period for tonight. The planet rises first in Los Angeles at 2:41 in the morning, then in New York at 2:26 in the morning, and finally in London at 1:48 in the morning. The Valles Marineris Canyon system on Mars is one of the largest in the solar system, stretching over 4,000 kilometers long and reaching depths of up to 7 kilometers in some areas. The first Phobos crossing of the night begins. Phobos will transit across the apparent disk of Mars for 54 minutes. This event will not be visible from Los Angeles and New York due to daylight or twilight, while in London, Mars will be below the horizon. The next Phobos crossing begins. Phobos will transit across the apparent disk of Mars for 54 minutes. London will see this event between 2:24 in the morning and 3:18 in the morning. Los Angeles and New York will not see this event, as Mars will be below the horizon. The third Phobos crossing of the apparent disk of Mars begins. This event lasts 54 minutes. Unfortunately, it is not visible from Los Angeles, where Mars is below the horizon, or from New York and London, where the sky is too bright due to daylight or twilight. The Southern Delta Aquariids meteor shower is also active tonight, building toward its peak in 6 days. Look halfway up the southern sky to see meteors radiating from this point in Aquarius, with an estimated 5 meteors per hour. Los Angeles, New York, and London all see the radiant reach its peak around 3:25 in the morning. Mercury is a planet in Gemini. Look low near the eastern horizon as it rises tonight. This is where it appears, though it will stay low in the sky. Watch first in Los Angeles at 4:54 in the morning. By 4:43 in the morning, it is New York's turn, and London closes the night at 4:16 in the morning. Mercury's surface is creased by towering cliffs called lobate scarps, wrinkles that formed as the entire planet shrank while its interior cooled. The Andromeda Galaxy is a pale oval smudge almost straight overhead tonight. Use the Great Square of Pegasus as a guide, then hop along 2 stars to find this distant galaxy visible to the naked eye under dark skies. In Los Angeles, the galaxy stands highest at 5:25 in the morning, while in New York it peaks at 5:10 in the morning and remains above the horizon all night in London, reaching its highest point at 4:25 in the morning. Andromeda's diameter is approximately 220,000 light-years, making it nearly 2.5 times larger than the Milky Way's estimated diameter of 100,000 light-years. Difta is the brightest point of Cetus tonight. Look high in the southern sky and follow the eastern side of the Great Square extended southward to locate this bright star. 5:25 in the morning is the moment in Los Angeles. New York gets its turn at 5:10 in the morning, and London at 4:25 in the morning. The name Difta comes from the Arabic phrase al-Difta al-Thani, literally meaning the second frog, referring to an ancient Arabic asterism depicting a pair of frogs in the sky, in which the first frog was identified with the star Fomalhaut, used by ancient sailors for navigation. The double cluster is a binocular gem high in the northern sky. Look between Perseus and the W of Cassiopeia to find these two open clusters, H and Chi Persei, a stunning sight in binoculars. The earliest best view belongs to Los Angeles at 5:25 in the morning. London waits until 4:25 in the morning, with New York in between at 5:10 in the morning, all with the cluster remaining above the horizon all night. NGC 869 and NGC 884 are true stellar siblings. Both are only about 13 million years old and are thought to have formed from the same giant cloud of gas and dust. The Perseids meteor shower is active tonight, building toward its peak in 19 days. Look high in the northern sky to spot meteors streaking from this radiant point in Perseus, with an estimated 6 meteors per hour. The radiant climbs highest in Los Angeles at 5:25 in the morning, then the best moment moves to New York at 5:10 in the morning, and on to London at 4:25 in the morning, all while remaining visible above the horizon all night. The Tiangong space station begins the first crossing of the night. Observers standing on the narrow ground path see the satellite's silhouette cross the moon's disk for about 1 second. The ground path runs northeast of Artican at 7:21 in the evening, southwest of Gunung Sitoli at 11:03 in the evening. 30 satellite crossings of the moon were visible from land tonight, and the 6 shown here run closest to towns and cities. The Hubble Space Telescope makes the second crossing of the night. The ground path runs near Chaohu at 7:37 in the evening over the open Pacific at 1:51 in the morning. The Tiangong space station crosses the moon for the 3rd time of the night. This satellite makes its second pass. The ground path runs near Qingzhou at 7:52 in the evening over the open Pacific at 9 in the evening. The Hubble Space Telescope produces the 4th crossing of the night. This satellite crosses again. The ground path runs east of Gelmim at 8:56 in the evening, east of Balkanabat at 1:09 in the morning. The International Space Station delivers the 5th crossing of the night. The ground path runs east of Regina at 9:26 in the evening over the Amazon basin at 11:41 in the evening. The International Space Station completes the 6th and final crossing of the night. This satellite crosses again. The ground path runs near Poznan at 9:41 in the evening over the open Indian Ocean at 10:56 in the evening. A total solar eclipse is coming soon. Follow for details. Thanks for looking up with us. Come back tomorrow for another clear view of the night sky.